Guys, I just want to show you a couple of other things. If you're doing something like this that's a symmetrical object, you can actually just draw half of it and then mirror the object, okay? Especially if it's quite a complex thing, that will save you a bit of time. And that way, any changes you make on one side, it'll mirror them on the other side as well. Okay, and what else? I don't know, just a couple of other little things. Oh, with this violin neck that's here, it's already a path. I'm just going to zoom in a bit here. Okay, so with this violin neck, that's obviously a simple thing, but what I'm going to do is cut it in half and then show you how to mirror it. So it's already done, but and this goes for any path that you've done, you can cut at a certain point. There's something called the scissors tool, okay, and this is it's sort of grouped with the eraser tool, which is a little bit further down on your toolbar there. Okay, so if I use the scissors tool, okay, I can just click somewhere there and that will, cut that path. So see how I've now just got half of that violin neck. All right, so I've only got one side of it. So now what I might want to do is mirror it so that I then don't have to do the other side. So this works for things that are symmetrical or the same on both sides, obviously. Yes, you could have done that with the violin, but I'm making you learn the hard way first. Okay. All right, but so now we've got half an object, which is this one. Go up to the Effect menu, Distort and Transform, and then Transform. Look at all these things, pucker and bloat, they just sound really weird. Anyway, so you get this dialog box. All right, so it's saying which way are you doing, horizontally or vertically? Is it going to move? Is it going to rotate? Reflect X, reflect Y. Now, I think we were talking about the X and Y axis. So the X is across the screen or horizontal. Y is up and down the screen. Okay, so it was in the, I'll just do that again. It was the, Effect, Distort and Transform, and then Transform, if you're looking for it. Okay, so and also you can tick the preview box as well. It's always handy to tick the preview box because it will show you what's going to happen with it. Okay, now with this one I probably just want to, it's going horizontally, so would that be the X-axis or the Y-axis? Can anyone tell me? So the X, you probably weren't here in the first week when we talked about it. So the X-axis and the Y-axis. So if I wanted to go, to the left, is that the X or the Y-axis? I've got one for Y, I've got one for X. Anyone else? It is the X-axis. The X goes across the screen, Y goes up and down. Yeah? Yeah, that's right. So that's the X-axis. Okay. Actually, Joe, in that Moodle, there's a PowerPoint from the first week that you should just go back and, not now necessarily, but just at some point, just go back and read it. Okay. So I'm going to say reflect X. Now, because I've got preview on, it's done this weird thing here. So I need to work out, what's going to happen there. So I need to, actually it's done them both, wait a minute. Oh, that one. So I need to move it or something. Scale is to change the size of it, but I don't need to change the size of it. So maybe I need to, move it across. Okay, if you know, this probably works better if you know, and I don't know why this is in inches actually. Sure, my units are in, Yeah, but maybe we didn't set the units. We might not have set the units in the preferences. Yeah, we probably didn't. Yeah, so it's in inches, unfortunately. Also, actually, I want to do copy as well. That's what I want to do. If you do a copy is when you want, two sides. If I didn't have copy there, it would just flip the one that's already there. Okay, which is not what I want. I want to actually copy that side and put there. So I've ticked copies. Well, no, sorry, I've put one in copies. What else? I've said reflect X. I do need to get that in the right position. Transform objects. Oh, that's where I should have reflected it from there. That's what I should have done. Yeah, that's why it wasn't there. I'm going to put the move back to 0. And I need to say, where am I actually reflecting it from? See this little, it's a little tiny thing there. It's like the position of the reflection, of the transformation, okay? So am I doing it from the left side or from the center or from the right side or from, I mean, the top and the bottom are really if you're doing that way. But this one, because the path was on the left side, I should say reflect it, like the center is at the right side. Okay, does that make sense? And then I don't have to move it. So see there, I've ticked that right thing there. For this one, it won't matter if I tick top, middle or bottom of the right because I'm only reflecting one way. If I was reflecting that way, then that would make a difference if I'm reflecting from the top or the bottom. Okay? But for this one, I'm saying that's where the transform bit is from. Okay, from that side. Okay, so I've got one copy. I've selected that right hand, one of those right hand transform things. I've said reflect X because remember X is across the screen. Okay, and that should be all I need. I don't need to move it. There are things there you can change the angle and whatever, but this one I don't need to. And then I can just say OK. So now I've got a reflection of my shape. Now if I change, you'll see there's only anchor points and handles on the left side. Okay, but if I moved one of these anchor points, it's going to do it on the right side as well because it's a mirror. Okay, so that makes it really easy if you're doing a complex object that's symmetrical. Okay, I have got some notes about this particular bit on the Moodle. Okay, there's a Word document with a few notes. Okay, and then the other thing I wanted to show you is using the pencil tool. So someone was saying, I think it was Erica, was saying, why do we need to do this? Because it's so hard. Why do we need to use the pen tool? Okay, there is a pencil tool, which is a free-form drawing thing, but it doesn't give you as much control, and it adds the anchor points where it thinks it needs them. Okay, so it's better for drawing things that are a bit more free-form, and maybe you don't need so much accuracy. You can change them later, obviously, with the direct selection tool, and you can move the points and whatever, everything we've done with the pen tool, but just the initial drawing. Okay, so just zoom out here. So have I got anything here I can, actually, I'll try it on this curved line at the top. All right, so the pencil tool looks like a pencil. Okay, it's this one here. All right, if you see that on your toolbox. It's grouped with some other things. We're not going to worry about those ones, but just the general pencil tool. And this one, you just hold either the pen or the mouse button down and drag it to draw what you want. Okay, so I'm just going to draw this curved line. So I'm going to start here. Okay, now it's not as easy as you think. Okay, So I just drew a line there with the pencil tool, and you can see it has added the anchor points itself. And there are probably more anchor points in there than I would get if I just drew it with the pen tool. And it depends how steady your hand is as well. Okay, so you know, you can use the pencil tool just to draw free-form lines, and it will add the anchor points. Now you can change the settings of the pencil tool. If you double-click the tool in the toolbox, you'll get the dialog box. All right, and this says, you know, different things. Smoothness. At the moment, mine is on 0% for smoothness. So it'll pretty much draw a line almost exactly where I put my pen. If I wanted to smooth it out, okay, which is, it's usually good to have a bit of smoothing in there because it'll, you know, you saw yourself, you draw a line and it's really not, you know, as good. So you can experiment with the amount of smoothness. I'm going to do 50% just to, you know, do this. It's got some other things there. It'll say, you know, keep selected means that after you draw the shape, it'll still be selected, so you can go back and, you know, adjust the points or whatever. You know, do different things. Okay, so I've just increased the smoothness. I'm going to draw another line, another curved line. And that looks a lot better, actually. That's smoothed it out a little bit more. But it has still added more anchor points, I think, than if I drew that myself. But you can, remember, you can get rid of those additional anchor points, okay, with the remove anchor point tool and stuff. And I'll move them around, or, you know, any of those pen tools here. So if I wanted to delete an anchor point, okay, I think it doesn't need that one, so I'm going to get rid of that one, or, you know, I could delete another one. I can use the direct selection tool to adjust the curves. Okay, there's the handles. Now the reason you don't have too many anchor points on a curve is because, you know, if you adjust one like this one at the beginning, I don't know if I'll do it now because I've already changed it, but see, I'm adjusting this curve right at the beginning. It only adjusts it as far as the next point. Okay, so if I didn't have that point there, it would sort of adjust this and it would make a smoother curve because there's, you know, it's further in between the anchor points. Okay, so just don't be tempted to put too many points in. If you're going around a curve, as a general rule of thumb, you want to put one where the, I guess where the curve changes. Like as we saw with those, where are they? With that one, for example, you don't need one on top of the curve. You only need one there and there, sort of thing. So that's where the curve is changing. All right, you don't, if you put one on top of there as well, like if I continued this one, okay, and I put one there, you know, I'm going to have to make each of my lines a bit shorter, but it's just more to adjust and, you know, and if I wanted to move one of these around, okay, it's only going to do it between those points rather than, you know, or if I wanted to make this curve higher, I'd have to move more points. All right, so just, you know, the least amount of points you can get away with curves is basically better. Okay. So if you want to try that reflection thing, you can try that on the violin neck. So what I did was I cut it in half first. I used the scissors tool because that was a complete shape, okay, unless you've deleted it already, but you can open it up again, the one that's on the P drive. I cut it first, so underneath the eraser tool is the scissors tool. So all I did was I cut it at a point here. Now this one, it's not going to work because I've already cut it, so it's saying, you know, you need to do it on the middle, but if you just click somewhere on a path, it'll cut the path at that point. Okay, and in this one, there was an anchor point right at the top. So if you click on that anchor point right at the top, it'll cut that one in half. Yep. And then it was in the the effect menu, Distort and Transform, that's where we did it. And so if you try a few of those options, just make sure you've got the preview box ticked so then you can see the changes that your things are doing. Okay. So have a go at that and have a go with the pencil tool and see whether you can do, you know, a smooth pencil shape or whatever. You could try it around the violin and see how well you can do it. Okay, but you know, you will find that the pen tool has a lot more control. And the pencil tool is better for more free-form things. You know, you might be just drawing, like not tracing anything, and so drawing your own thing, and so you could use the pencil tool in that case. All right.